Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. New view, who this? I am visiting. I like to call it my old life. I'm visiting my old life in New Jersey, and so I'm staying with one of my friends, and I forgot to pack my tripod. My phone is propped precariously, and I hope that it survives the half hour. But I'm so excited because the weather's changing. And is out. Good morning, Tracy. How are you?
Good morning.
Can
How
you
are you?
even see me? Like my phone is. Yeah,
Your head's cut off, but when Michelina comes on, it'll shift
it's
the
yeah. So I'm cross-legged on the floor, like literally Indian style, because I planned. Whatever. Let's not get into that. How are
I'm
you?
good.
Well, happy Groundhog
I'm good.
Day.
What'd you say?
Happy Groundhog Day.
Today's Groundhog Day. Look at me. I've been living under a rock. I had no idea.
It's February, in case you weren't looking at your calendar.
No. Wait. And so, did you see his shadow?
I'm not looking because guess what I'm looking at is the chili cook-off.
Oh. Uh-huh. Yes.
I mean, I am looking. I want to know what happens with the weather. But before Michelina comes on, or while we're waiting for her, real quick shout out. We posted a giveaway this morning. We are giving away 2 tickets to the Greenport Brewery Chili Cook-Off. This is their 4th annual cook-off.
Yes, and it's widely talked about. So.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it typically sells out, although I do believe there are some tickets available right now for those who want to buy it and make sure you're going. I mean, I have my own, so I'm definitely going, even though I can't eat the meat, as everybody knows. But there's a lot of local restaurants competing, and they will be making their version of chili that you can sample and taste and vote on.
Love that.
And this year, the fire department will be competing as well. So there'll be a lot of fire department chilies. Of course, there'll be beer.
Different fire departments?
I believe
or just South Oak?
So. I believe so. I'm not sure. This is the first year they're in there. Good morning, Michelina. So this is the first year they're there. So, I mean, I'll report live when I get there, but I do believe there are several different fire departments going to be competing in the chili cook-off. So we just posted a giveaway. It's all day only today. Enter. And then we'll pull 2 tickets. We'll put a name, and you'll get 2 tickets, and so you can go enjoy Sunday's chili
and hang out with Sunita.
Well, me and all the other people that come for chili cook-off. Good morning, Michelina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You liked how I called you the new kid on the block, even though you've been around the block a few times?
Yes. A well-familiar block, but a good one.
Yes. Michelina, before we get into what you're doing right now, are you a transplant to the North Fork, or are you here as your generation?
Oh my gosh, I love that you even asked me that question, because that means that maybe people think that I am from here. All our ultimate goal. I am a transplant here for almost 10 years. So my husband and I got married out here and decided to move out here and buy a house and start a family. So we've been here for 10 years.
Wow.
And maybe this is for both of you. How many years before you're no longer a transplant?
Oh,
I'm just a friend.
I don't know. I feel like maybe that's not a possibility. So
it's like, you just have to be born into it.
I think that you have to be born here. So like Tilly is not a transplant, but I am. Even though I've been coming here since I was born.
You just didn't make Tilly local before us.
Oh, listen, she's born here. Born and bred.
Listen, I love her to death, but she's more local than me and you and Michelina put together.
And little NOFO bro, right? And what is little NOFO baby and little NOFO bro, right?
That NOFO bro.
Oh, that NOFO bro. Yeah. If for anyone who doesn't know, that's what Michelina calls her children on Instagram. And so they too are locals.
Let's literally dive into it, because this is a kid-related activity and a kid-related project. So jump into, who are you and why did you start this Petite North Fork?
Yeah, so I'm Michelina Da Fonte for people who don't know me, and I started Petite North Fork at the end of last year. So December we launched, and a website, a newsletter, social media for all things for kids. So whether it's places to go, things to do, things to know, just like helpful information and guides, a little bit of everything, but all kid-centric.
How did you come up with this concept? How did you decide, and when did you decide you were going to do this? Because I'm sure it was incubating for a while.
You know, it was such like a natural progression from being at North Forker and like having to be in the know for so many years. People would just reach out to me all the time, like, what should I do this weekend with my kids? Or my husband's friends would reach out to him from Nassau County and say, like, can you ask your wife? And so I was always getting questions, and it never bothered me. I actually loved it. I still do love it so much. And so,
sorry, I'm interrupting, but the important component also being you have 2 kids.
Exactly, right. Yeah. I knew kind of what to do. It was just like a part of my normal life. Like I have our little social calendar and we just knew what was going on. And so I like to share that information. So I thought, why would I not share it? I love doing that. And it's been super fun.
What is your background? Because obviously your website, your launch, everything is so pulled together, kick-ass. I'm thinking I need to be taking notes for any launching on how to pull it together. So what is your background?
Despite what people might think, I do not have a journalism background. I came from the brand world. So that then would make sense. So I was in branding for many years before I came out here and started at the Times Review Media Group. So I've done a little bit of everything though. So it's kind of been working in my favor, thankfully. So I've been able to pull it all together.
You're speaking Tracy's lingo with the branding.
Yes. Yes, and you've done an excellent job. It's very clear, both on the website and on the Instagram, you know, exactly what you're doing, and the branding is through. I do pay attention to that, so I can see it.
Yeah, so when I named my kids, I'm more like branded my children. But knows it, and I'm okay with that.
So,
yes.
So what is the mission and the goal of Petite North Fork?
Sure. So I definitely want to create a community. I feel like with like the lack of village in parenthood, having a community is second best. And so my goal is to not only share the content, but also make people feel like they are a part of something, and can come to whomever else in our little group and ask questions and not feel like they'll be judged. It's literally a safe space for whomever wants to partake in it.
So is it for moms as well? Like a support group for moms?
Yeah, for sure. It's for moms, it's for caregivers, it's for dads, it's for whoever wants to really have that like child-centric lifestyle.
And so what was the progression from the North Forker to this? How did you, like, how far along were you thinking about this, and how did you come to say, I'm going to pull the trigger and do it?
So for a while I was thinking I wanted to do something on my own. I wasn't sure exactly what that would look like, and then it like came to me in the middle of the night one night. I literally
plunge, so to speak.
Yeah, it's wild. I like all night one night.
A little bit of plunger too, so I just want to throw that in there.
I stayed up all night and decided on a name, created a logo, bought a domain. My husband woke up, he's like, did you sleep? I'm like, no, I have a website though. Yeah, happened overnight.
Speaking entrepreneurial lingo, because when I first opened my first business 4 or 5 years ago, it literally was, I woke up at 2 a.m. I mean, I've obviously been thinking about it for months or years, but never did it. But it was New Year's Day, like 2017 or something. And I was like, you know what? I need to do it like today, tomorrow. Like it was New Year's Eve, but the next morning I woke up, got the domain name, got it. And then my husband woke up and he was like, I have a business. And he was like, okay.
Yeah. I feel like the universe kind of sets you up sometimes for that if you are open to it. So
what are you currently offering? I know you're curating events that the kids can do. So tell us what you're currently offering, and if you want to share what your future plans are.
Yeah, so basically I post 2 stories or 2 articles, 2 guides per week to the website, and then also push those out through social media for our following there. And those guides can range from things to do with your kids. This week I had a birthday party, since I don't know about you guys. I mean, Sunita, your children are grown, so I don't think you had been to Safari Adventure, but Tracy, maybe you have with Tilly.
Yes. I saw that post.
It is a big, huge play space. Fun. I have to be honest. Kids love it. They go nuts there. My kids see that they're going there and like, oh my gosh, Safari Adventure. But I'm like, oh my goodness, one more foot.
Yes.
In that place, and I just can't. So I put together a birthday party guide for this week that went up a day or 2 ago, and there'll also be another story coming up later today And then also once a week, I publish a newsletter with those stories, as well as I have this space on the site, and it's called the Petite Institute. And it's a place for guides where you can go at any point of the year and just kind of learn. It's like a place of learning. And so that also is content that gets pushed out probably bi-weekly, I'd say at this point. And so it's not just events, it's also really content and information. Tracy, I know that you recently saw a story that I did on 100 Days in Nature. It's a new effort by the Riverhead Parks and Recs, and they are basically encouraging people to kind of adapt to that 1,000 hours in nature effort, which is super challenging, but really fun.
In January.
No, you do, though. You do. It's amazing.
No, I'm saying,
yeah.
So much time outside. Like she could do all week.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I was like, oh, this will be a breeze, no big deal. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, it's like 4 o'clock and we need to go outside. Like, get your clothes on. Like, it's insane. It makes you crazy. But the great thing about the Riverhead effort is that it's 100 hours total for the season. And that is way more doable and achievable and feels less intimidating. And I know, Tracy, that you and your adorable daughter have kind of started to work to that also. And I feel like it's a really fun thing to do.
We actually just took the coloring portion of it and put it on the refrigerator because obviously, Tilly's not coloring in the lines just yet. So mom's doing the coloring. And I hadn't been doing it. And my assistant was like, do you want to put this on the refrigerator so you remember to color? And I was like, okay, let's do that.
It helps tremendously. So we're doing the 100 Days in Nature, but also the 1,000 hours. And we printed out like 18 by 24 of the 1,000 hours. And so it's in our dining room, like in a frame that we can actually access and color on. So it's always there. So it's always present. And so it's always a reminder that let's get outside. And you know what? It helps tremendously. So
yeah, I tell you, I do not need to tell Tilly to go outside. Yeah. This kid, when we drive in the car, she asks me to roll down the window, no matter what the weather. And I'll roll it down and I'll be like, you want to turn it up now, don't you, huh? And she's like, no. I'm like, what? She wants to be outside all the time. It's amazing. Yeah. She's a good influence on me. And that's another thing. This program, and I'm sure a lot of the stuff that you're offering is actually good for the mom too. Like, I need to be outside more. I need to get out of my chair more. So it's helping me as well.
I mean, for years, people would say, like, you do so much with your kids. You're always doing something. Our family works best when we are out of the house and most of the times in nature. We're all happiest, calmest, most content in the most beautiful way. And so we are always pushing to get outside. Even if it's 15 degrees outside, you layer up and you go. And there's definitely ways to do that. And just our happy place is out of the house. So we love our home, but it's always so nice to go out and adventure. And it's been so wonderful to do that with our family.
So a story that I want to share is, I know your account is called Petite North Fork, is designed for kids, but the ways in which influence kind of seeps in, right? As you mentioned, my kids are grown and gone, but they were here for the Christmas break and holiday break and whatever. And I saw your post about, what's that new place that opened in Riverhead with the mini golf and what is it called?
That's cool.
Which I'm following on Instagram, and I had seen them, but then you posted and I thought they have things for every age group. So I tell my kids, bundle up. Kids, they're grown adults. But I was surprised. I'm going to take you to a place that you're going to love because I saw your post and I really wanted to go try it. So we go and I'm enthusiastic, excited. My grown ass kids look around and go, do you see the audience here? Like, they laughed. And I was like, that's so nuts. But I would say, yes, there are things for older kids too. And I think they're opening their outdoor section, right, with the water. I think when that happens, maybe some of the older kids would enjoy it, like I would enjoy it. But it's more geared to a younger audience, correct? We want to share a little bit more about your experience there?
Yeah, so naturally, a lot of the content is going to skew a little bit younger because my kids are younger. It's kind of what our world is. But I'm also making sure that we do cover some content for teens, parents with teens, some great things to do. I feel like Scott's point, yes, if you go there with your kids, like, hang out with me. They're like, no, this isn't fun.
And men, they're in their 20s.
Yeah, but I feel like if they went there with their friends to hang out, they'd have a great time. And so I feel like there are so many things on the North Fork, in the local area, that are great for teens to do also, and older young adults that want to do it too. So it's just a matter of finding those things. And I feel like so many times what it is that many of us know these places, but then we forget about them. It's so easy to go back to our routines and like what we're used to doing in the same parks and the same places, but having something just like pop up on your feed or a story, seeing it and inspiring you to go and reminding you, oh, this place is there, I haven't checked it out yet, or I haven't been there in a long time. It definitely creates a new memory with your family.
I would definitely have a girls event there, like even the rock wall climbing, you know what I mean? Had other things to do that day too, so they were like, there's not enough time yet. But my 20-year-old packed for the outdoor one, which, you know, so I'm not saying don't go, I'm just saying you influenced me to even take my grown people. Thing petite, I think it's for all families, that you're providing information, things they can do on the North Fork.
Michelina, was there any story that you've been doing that you actually learned something?
Every single one of them. It's wild, especially the guide. So we did like a dressing for winter guide, and that was really fun to do. That really, it reminded me like, oh my gosh, like I'm leaving off a few layers here. You get rusty after a while, and so that helps. I also did a really fun making fire cider tonic, that type of guide too. So I learned so much there as well. And I feel like every little piece of content, it either just reminds me or inspires me to do something new.
Are you getting requests from your Instagram followers and your newsletter folks about, can you do stories about this or can you do stories about that?
Not yet, but I would love to. If anyone has any ideas or suggestions or wants to see or hear about something, please let me know, and I would love to explore.
What's the best way for them to tell you that? Is it through Instagram or through the newsletter or the website?
I think that the newsletter is like a great place to go, so that the content just comes to you. You don't have to worry about it. You sign up once and it's always in your inbox weekly. And then of course my email as well, petitenorthfork@gmail.com. But Instagram is fine. Really, however people want to reach me is completely fine. I'm a mom, and I feel like we are always at people's disposal or availability.
So another thing I want to talk about a little bit, and it's not directly kid related, it's more personally related, is your North Fork polar bear journey and your cold water plunging journey. How's that going? I know we both do it. We haven't had an opportunity to plunge together, and I'm looking forward to that. But share a little bit of what that experience has been like for you.
Yeah, so I started last winter. I started the week before the polar plunge last year. I'm not sure if I recommend starting at the end of January or beginning of February. It was definitely a wild shock, but also amazing. It's so addictive, as you know. It's an incredible thing to do for your body and your mind. For a while, I was going with a group of moms in Jamesport, and now I kind of go by myself sometimes. And it's kind of just been this journey for me where at first I was like, there's no way I'd ever go by myself. And then slowly I started kind of adapting it and making it my own. And it's amazing. I sometimes putting on that bathing suit in the morning and thinking like, what am I doing? Like, do I want to do this today? The second you get in the water, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did. Like, you never, ever regret doing it. And it's nice to kind of find your own little places too and have it like your own personal journey. So that's definitely been where my journey has gone with it. But I love it. I think that I'll always do it. It helps to calm me down and to kind of connect and zen me. So it's been great.
Yeah, you say that because you're articulating what I'm feeling. I am such an extrovert, and I joined because I wanted to try it, but I also like the group aspect of it, and I like the idea that it calms me down or whatever. But I am finding that I love the and I love the smaller groups, but I too find myself going for solo plunges, which is so far from who I thought I was.
Yeah.
And I don't share a lot of that, but because I don't go that often. But there's tremendous benefits to finding that inner quiet and just that moment of, we found our way to work, and how beautiful is it to take that 2 minutes in the water, and it's awesome. But I start in summer, really, so you get used to the water, and then you just continue staying through the winter if you can.
I feel like the goal has to be, you need to be a water lover. Like, it doesn't matter or the temperature. I'm not a person who likes the cold. I just not into it. I've never liked winter, except for this winter. I'm starting to actually appreciate it and really just recognize it for what it is and love it. And I am. And I feel like that 1,000 hours and 100 days outside really is helping me with that. But I was never a person that was into like, let's go in like the snow and the coldness. Like, no, that was so not me. But I feel like it's because I love the water so much. And it's a water experience. It's not a temperature experience. It's 100% a water experience. So if you love the water, then I think that people should give it a try. And also make sure you have the right equipment, the right material that to protect your body, and just be really smart about it.
I almost feel like it's some of the things that you're doing and collecting and curating is also a self-care, right? Being outside for the 1,000 hours, the fire tonic, building, drinking, doing the plunges. So there's more in that motherhood, and it's not necessarily a motherhood community, but there's aspects of what you're offering or trying to build there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for us, wellness, mental wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness is very important, and how we raise our children. And so Petite will reflect that naturally. It's an extension of who I am. And I think that all of it is tied to wellness. And so that is going to be a common thread throughout much of the content.
Before we get into the NOFO Live 5, just tell everybody, so what is the web address of Petite North Fork?
It's petitenorthfork.com, and it's petite with an E at the end.
Okay. And they can sign up for the newsletter through the website?
On the site, at the top right, it says subscribe, and you can click it and pop your email address in. Or if someone just wants to DM me their email address, that's totally fine too, if that's easier for people. And I'll add you to the newsletter, and it will arrive in your inbox weekly.
And of course, follow you on Instagram at Petite North Fork.
That's
right.
And there's always a weekly edit or weekend edit, which is just things to do for the weekend. But then the stories and the guides are also uploaded there as well.
Okay, great.
There's always content of that North Fork bro, or tell tags you have for your children's names.
That NOFO bro and that North Fork baby. It's so funny. So people.
For one is North Fork. That's very interesting.
Oh yeah, an old colleague came up with that NOFO bro, because I was like, what am I going to brand or name this kid? And it was a fun little test. And we love that one. But I use something called chat books. People are like, why do you always use those hashtags? But we use something called chat books. And so every time I hashtag a photo of my kids, it goes directly into chat. It's like an online little portal, and you a physical copy of a photo book once you hit 60 photos. And it's amazing. So I feel like all of us just take photos with our phones, and then they stay on our phone, right? And no one sees them except for us. No one gets to experience them. It's also so important, I think, to let your kids look over their experience, what they've done. And so chat books has been something so fun. I keep them in my living room, like where they can access them, and they'll pull them, they'll look at them. They each have their own huge stack of books. I've been doing them each since they've been born, and it's been awesome.
You should write. You should do an article. I would love it. I need to know more of this. So it's chat books.
Books, yeah, CHAT.
Wow.
Chat books, CHAT books is the website, and you just kind of put in your hashtag, and it pulls directly books for you. It's like the easiest service ever, and it's been awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Thank you.
That also, as I'm sitting here, like my wheels are spinning, because Instagram has become so much of reels. It's forces you to put static photos, which I really do miss static photos.
Yeah, I think there is value in them for sure. I mean, for me, it's like my own personal memory book, and that's how I use it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's wonderful to share things, but it's a personal thing.
A style account, right? I mean, I post a sunset, and I'm really, I don't want to say I'm not posting it for you, but I'm really not posting it for you. I'm posting it for me, so I can keep the journal of, and then on days it's gray and rainy, I go to my Instagram account and go, okay, 4 days ago it was beautiful, and 12 days ago it was beautiful. So it reminds me that it's going to be beautiful again. And I can sort of soak up the old happy kind of to get me through today. So I think it's Maybe I'll use the NOFO style and get a book, because I don't have any pictures. I just have them on the screen.
Yeah, you totally should. And you know, it's funny that journey of like looking back and like remembering great times, it so applies to parenthood too. And I feel like, yeah, everyone has rocky days or rocky moments, and like looking back and scrolling back, it just brings you such joy. So
yes, that was an excellent metaphor, Sunita. All right, so let's go into our NOFO 5. So Michelina, if you were going to take Sunita and I lunch or dinner, where would you take us?
Ooh, okay, so since I am the Petite North Fork mom, I feel like it has to be a kid-friendly place, but also have great food and awesome cocktails. That for me is Barrow Food House. We're there all the time. It's so good. Their food is awesome, and we love the vibe in there. We like the music, and yeah, those cocktails are insane. So.
Menu, Tracy, did you know that?
No.
So Saturday, maybe that's where we'll go.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
Because we were looking for an option to hang out with Tilly Saturday. I didn't know they had kid menu, so that we'll definitely put that on the list. Okay, sunrise or sunset? What are you waking up for with those?
We are sunset people forever and ever and ever. My 2.5-year-old will look out the window and he's like, "Mommy, sunset!" And it's just the best. Like, he's appreciate a sunset. We will see it kind of. We don't have a great view of the sunset from our home, but we can kind of see it turning golden, that beautiful golden hour through our trees. And I'm like, let's go in the car right now and run. And so the question of where is at all ever. And on the North Fork and having access to the sound and the bay is obviously we have these spectacular sound sunsets, but if you go to the bay during sunset, it just glows and it's so special and so magical. And so we love both the bay, the sound, but we'll catch any sunset at any beach. It's our happy place. So
if the day is cloudy, then sometimes on the sound, I don't want to say basic, but it can be a very basic sunset where you have an orange glow and it's great. But that glow in the clouds goes over to the bay, and it's almost you want to be at the bay to catch it. You know, so
the bay always turns very pink, which is beautiful.
Yes, it's so gorgeous and so stunning.
And again, you cut off, at least for me.
I said the bay always turns kind of pink, which is really beautiful.
And of course, if you want a sunrise, the bay is the only place to go. Although the same is true for sunrises. Infrequently, my sky at the sound is lit up red and pink, and then I go, oh, all those people who woke up to see a sunrise had an amazing sunrise this morning. I know it came over all the way to this side, so you know. Brewery, cocktail, mocktail. Where are we going? What are you enjoying?
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Brewery, vineyard, cocktail.
Yeah, so we love Greenport Harbor. We go there all the time with kids, with friends, with kids, everyone. I love IPA, so they have some really good ones there too, which I also enjoy. Their food's great. The music's fun. It's a great spot in the winter, in the summer. You can go with your whole crew. And I also love that it's always loud there. So sometimes people are like, what? Like, you like loud things? But when you have kids and you're loud, all you want is like like, my kid's in a bad mood. We're going to the brewery. Like, mom needs a beer, and you need to like be in an atmosphere that can match yours right now.
Run around, and no one's judging.
Music, and yeah, it's the best. We all leave happy and calm, so it's fun. Winery. Sorry, what would you say?
The best music lineup, and for those who don't go off, and I wanted to say the Peconic location has a big grassy area, which good weather is open, so your kids can actually run around and they have games and things. So even if you're not a beer drinker, because I'm not a beer drinker, my husband is, but they have options, and I get the glass bottle of Coca-Cola, and I love sitting outside in the sunshine and enjoying.
We bring picnic blankets, we bring a soccer ball, and it's a great spot for sure. And then for wineries, I love Pominock. I love when they do their days in the summertime. They have fantastic, and it's also a really chill spot, and you get great sunsets there too.
Nice. So are you cooking at home? And if you are, what farm stands are you hitting up when you go?
Oh man, so this is tricky. So as my old North Forker brain would tell you that I go to specific spots for specific items. However, I love Golden Earthworm Farm on Peconic Bay Boulevard in Jamesport. I think they might have rebranded their name and split things up for the season going forward, but they're still having their produce there, and it's a great spot. The farm stand is so beautiful. They also have a really cool little kid area. They have they have like a little sand pit with like ride-on trucks and toys, and your kids kind of like run in the grassy area there, so it's super 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 fun for kids. They have the cutest little market. It's like also have gifts and cute curated items there.
They
and then
do have very limited hours. We actually live almost across the street from there, and we have never gone because every time I say, let's walk over there, they're closed.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather see one open, but spectacular little farm stand. And also they have the best strawberries. So when it's strawberry picking season, go there for that as well.
Yes, it's packed then.
Mm-hmm. I guess in the last few months, maybe the third or fourth person that has brought them up as a farm stand they love. So Tracy, you're really going to have to find when they're open or leave them a note.
I know.
Them on the show and hear more about, because like I said, if I go back and look at a few episodes, I know at least 3 times in the recent 6 months their name has come up.
I know. Literally every time I drive by during the week, I go, this weekend, Tilly and I are going to walk down the block and come around the corner and go down the street and come over here. It's probably, not even a mile. And then I'll forget. And then Sunday, I'm like, oh, and then they're closed. I'm like, damn it.
Well, you're not the only one having that problem. So let's get there. Let's get, let us find out exactly when they open.
Let's go on Saturday, Sunita.
Well, it's probably in the off season. I feel like most farm stands are definitely closed in the winter.
Yeah, you're right.
They open for spring. Yeah, you have to get over there. They have amazing spot.
I know it's a top. A lot of people really love their produce and their food.
Awesome. Their CSA is amazing. We've done it a few times, and they're offering now like I think a half CSA this year, which is also great for smaller families. We love them.
That's amazing. Maybe I'll do CSA and I'll do pickup, and then I'll be forced to go there.
That's what. And we actually would like bring lunch sometimes, and like they had like little tables on like a tiny patio. You can
cute.
Now make it like an experience. So
I think we'll have to meet you there, Michelina.
I'd love that.
Yes. Our perfect lead into tell us in a few sentences why you love being a part of the North Fork community.
So I kind of said it at the beginning, but I feel like there's such a lack of, village, and I wanted to create Petite North Fork for that. I feel like we're so lucky to be on the North Fork to have this community. Our lack of village is our then community on the North Fork. And so the people that we get to meet and to talk to and to share ideas with and vent to those are your people. And there's so many wonderful ones on the North Fork, and I'm so thankful for this place.
Well, we are thankful for the service that you're doing and giving us all this amazing content, and we'll be following along. And everybody follow at Petite North Fork. Thank you so much for being on this morning, Michelina.
It's so great to see you both.
Michelina, I love that you found this niche that you're obviously so passionate about and having fun with. I love the cute videos of your son. I mean, your daughter too, but he cracks me up. So we will be following along and watching it. Yes, me especially.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Don't forget.
Have a great weekend, everybody. And don't forget to enter our giveaway.
Yeah, it's only today. So enter today and we'll draw a winner tomorrow. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
Bye.